Energetic boundaries are necessary but unseen borders that allow us to retain our power, stay healthy, and engage in healthy, loving, and meaningful relationships that make us stronger and more joyful over time. What's up, beautiful? It's Lisa Roulette. Welcome to the channel. Today we're talking about energetic boundaries. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. This channel is all about healing and creating a life you love. Make sure you like, comment, and share because that's how you help me grow the channel. We're going to talk about 4 types of energetic boundaries, what they look like when they're healthy, what happens when they're not so healthy, and how to repair them when they're not in great shape. So there are 4 energetic boundaries that we're going to talk about today, and those are physical, emotional, relational, and spiritual. And these boundaries are really important because they serve to protect us from inorganic vibrations entering our human energy field, which of course could be very low vibrational or harmful frequencies, but they also serve to magnetize to us the very frequencies that we want to co-create with in order to start manifesting certain experiences in our life and create a life we love. Physical energetic boundaries relate to our sense of security and safety in the world. They also relate to whether or not we feel like we have a place in the world, that the world accepts us in our authentic nature, and that we are serving a distinct purpose for a greater good. Without really strong physical boundaries, it's very likely that we're going to flounder, likely financially. We could be suffering from a series of addictions, like addictions to fitness or to substance or to even food. And we can also feel as if we're not super worthy of living this life experience or commanding the things that we want into the material or physical realm. Emotional energetic boundaries allow us to honor our feelings just as they are without judging them and really letting them be the messengers of the higher knowing that we innately have. These boundaries are super important because they help us to be able to respond to life rather than react and always trying to feel like we need to defend ourselves in some way. When this boundary is in tip-top condition, we tend to be significantly more resilient and much more aware of how our thoughts, our beliefs, and our feelings are actually manifesting as our life experience. Relational boundaries help us to honor ourselves and the people that we interact with. They allow us to have the courage to express ourselves authentically, honestly, and truthfully in our relationships. But most importantly, they help us to naturally and healthfully bond with other people without becoming codependent or enmeshed in another person's energy field. And finally, spiritual energetic boundaries exist to help us shine. They help us to invite in what we need to learn, to expand, and to ultimately become what we're destined to become in the world. Without these boundaries being super healthy, we're never going to learn our spiritual gifts and our spiritual powers, which are really vital in the process of healing our past and creating our future. So what happens if our boundaries aren't intact or in good shape? Well, a number of different things, but primarily undesirable experiences. So let's say that you were a young child and all of your energetic boundaries were just sort of starting to form. And you lived in a household where mom and dad didn't get along, or they had a very cold relationship. Maybe they fought a lot, or maybe they didn't communicate at all. And maybe in your greater community, you witnessed a lot of divorce or the same types of relationships. So it's very likely that over time, your boundaries as they were forming did one of 2 things. First, it may have created gaping holes in the boundaries where you now experience an influx of energies that are very attuned to those experiences that you had as a young child. And as a result, you are experiencing cold relationships, non-communicative relationships, relationships that don't work, and relationships that don't thrive. Alternatively, you could have built a wall to try to prevent yourself from entering into such relationships. But the problem with creating a wall or a very rigid boundary is that all of the traumas and the dramas that you witnessed as a young child in your home and in your community are stored in that wall. They make up that wall. So inevitably, you are experiencing those traumas on an energetic level, even though you constructed the boundary to prevent you from experiencing that. So you see how very important understanding your energetic boundaries are, and how important it is to get them intact and in good shape. So how are we going to get our boundaries in tip-top shape? Well, the first thing to do is look at the areas of life that aren't really working for you. Is there something in your physical experience that is uncomfortable? Is there lack? Is there limitation? Do you not feel purposeful or meaningful? That would mean that your physical boundaries are compromised. Are you suffering from addictions of any sort? Do you feel compelled to do things all the time that aren't necessarily really good for you? That would mean that your physical boundaries are definitely compromised. When you look at your emotional life, do you feel overly sensitive, hypersensitive, or shut down from the world where you can't really feel much at all? That would mean that you have an emotional boundary issue. When it comes to your relationships, are they happy? Are they healthy? Do they thrive? Keeping in mind that relationships are supposed to be co-creative, uplifting, and inspiring, and have a good, solid bond between you and the person that you interact with. No enmeshment or codependency. We really want to make sure that these relationships are definitely healthy, because if they're not, then we have relational boundary issues. And finally, your spiritual boundaries. Do you know why you're here? Because you are here for a very special reason. Do you know what your spiritual gifts are? Because you are a gift to this world. It's really important that we step out of the rigidity of our religious institutions and start to entertain our own spiritual essence. Not to say that religion is wrong or that you shouldn't be practicing your religion, but just really taking the time to step out of that from time to time and into the divinity that you are, to understand how you're existing in the world and what guidance you actually need to expand into your soul's purpose and really start to live out your soul's journey. Once you know what energetic boundary is either not intact or is compromised in some way, then the next thing that you're going to want to do is claim sovereignty over your field, over your life experience, over your energetic vibration. Now, if you've ever heard me talk about my infinity loop, you know that I'm always talking about the fact that you have supreme authority over your life experience. You get to decide what comes into your field and what stays out of your field. So one of the things that you want to do in claiming this supreme authority is to start to become increasingly self-aware, not just of the boundaries themselves, but what's happening in that noggin of yours. What are you emoting out into the universe? What are your beliefs? Are they modern beliefs that are serving you and serving the creative and healing process that you have to undertake to get to where you really, really want to go? And finally, what feelings are you emitting? Because your feelings are telling so much about your boundaries. And so if your feelings are really low vibrationally, you know they're compromised, and you know that you should be working on that infinite loop of creation. And if you haven't watched my video on manifesting, then I'm going to put that in the link of this description of this video below. You should check that out. And you should also check out my video on beliefs, because that will help you quite a bit as you're sort of healing these boundaries and putting them back intact. And once you feel that you've really claimed that sovereignty, that you're owning it once and for all, and you know that you have supreme authority over your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and your feelings, that's when you want to set the intention to heal. You really want to heal the inorganic, low vibrational frequencies. You have to let them go. You have to get them out of the human energy field and start to magnetize toward you the vibrational frequencies that you need on your journey to expand, on your journey to start creating a life you love. So let's review really quickly. Evaluate the areas of life that are not working for you. Look at that physical life, look at that emotional life, look at your relationships, and consider where you are in your spiritual process and your spiritual journey. Number 2, claim sovereignty, supreme authority over your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and your feelings. And finally, set that intention to really heal, to raise that frequency back to your organic vibration, the source vibration, the creative healing power that you have naturally within you. Thank you so much for watching today. If you love the video, please like, comment, and share, and I will see you next time. Peace.